Yeah,
It's
November 3rd.
November the 3rd, 2018.
You gonna lay back like that and tell the story, or you
No,
gonna sit up?
I'm gonna sit up. It was November 3rd, 2018. I just,
Your Yeah.
I just got back from my flight, my first solo cross country to Tuskegee in Alabama. There's Molson Field Municipal is the actual airport, and the airport code is 06 Alpha. Okay. So today, I showed up to the airport, talked to my instructor, said hey to him and all, and he said, "Hey, do you still have your flight plans and stuff?" I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Cool, you're going up by yourself today." I said, "Going where?" He said, "You're doing your cross country today by yourself." I was under the impression I was going to do it tomorrow, but I was like, "Sure," So today we had actually I had went outside, prepped my plane, got the fuel in my plane, and then I taxied out to the runway by myself like I did for my first solo that I did, and then took off, made sure everything was in the green. I was taking off. I took off, started flying, and then as I departed, I said Noonan traffic, number 484 Delta Charlie, which is the airport's or my airplane's tail number. So I said number 484 Delta Charlie. We're with you with a departure leg off of runway 32. We're at 2,000 or 3,500. We're departing to the southwest. Okay. So I said that, and after I said that, I switched over to Atlanta approach because we live under class Bravo airspace. Y'all don't know what that is, but it's the busiest air. I basically fly out of the busiest airspace in the world, pretty much. So I was like, Atlanta departure. How you doing? This is
Fix that pillow behind you. I can't stand that. Okay. Sorry, y'all.
What's the point? Anyway. I said Atlanta departure. Good afternoon. It's November 484 Delta Charlie.
Number 3rd.
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said Atlanta departure. Good afternoon. It's November 484 Delta Charlie. And he said,
What is that?
"That's my aircraft tail number."
Oh, I thought you said something about November 4th. My bad. Go ahead.
And he said, "Diamond 484 Delta Charlie, Atlanta departure." I said, "Atlanta departure. Good afternoon, sir. Diamond 484 Delta Charlie. We're with you 4 miles southwest of Noonan. We're requesting a flight following to 06 Alpha." He said, "Diamond 484 Delta Charlie. Say how far you're going up and squawk 4544. He said 4544, and we're going up to 4,500. And he said, "Cool." And he said, "Diamond 484 Delta Charlie, radar contact, 4 miles southwest of Noonan, 4,500, welcome aboard." And then about 2-3 minutes later, as I'm going towards LaGrange, LaGrange, Georgia, if you guys don't know where that is, just look on the map. Going towards LaGrange, Georgia, he said, "Diamond 484 Delta Charlie, contact land approaching on 125.5, take care." I said 25.5, we'll see. So I switched to 25.5 on the frequency of the plane, I'm still talking to approach, and I say, "Atlanta approach. Good afternoon, sir. Diamond 484 Delta Charlie with you at 4,500. And they say, "Diamond 484 Delta Charlie, Atlanta approach. Atlanta altimeter 3018. Good morning." Or good afternoon. Alright. Whatever you said. And that's pretty much it. So after that, I started flying by myself. And then as I was flying along by myself, I just passed LaGrange. And then as I passed LaGrange, he said, "Diamond 484 Delta Charlie, advise when you have Molten Field in sight," which is 7 Alpha 3. That's the airport that I chose on my flight plan that I could follow. So I said, "All right, what airport we have in sight?" And then I said, like 10-15 minutes later after that, I had said, "And Atlanta approach, Diamond 484 Delta Charlie, we got the field in sight at 12 o'clock. He said, "Diamond 484 Delta Charlie, if you want to, you can go ahead and continue your flight following, or if you'd like to cancel, that's fine. You have a TFR in front of you, surface at 3,000. I said, "We got the TFR, we can stay out of the TFR, and we'd like to do flight following if it's okay with you." And he said, "Sure." He literally said sure. It was so funny. He was like, "Sure." So I start flying along, and there's a big game at Auburn, and I can't fly above the stadium at surface at 3,000. I was at 4,500. So I just flew right over it, right? And I looked down, and I saw the stadium. I didn't see anything happening because I'm so high up. But I saw the stadium and stuff. So happy. I was like, hey! And then as I passed the TFR, and I was about 15 miles away from Tuskegee in Alabama, I looked at my phone, and they said it was 2:31, but it was actually 3:31. But it's because the time changed in Alabama, right? So then I was like, Atlanta approach, I'm 484 Delta Charlie. We'll go ahead and cancel our VFR flight following. And he said, I'm a 484 Delta Charlie. That I got about 3 aircrafts going to be in front of you, plus a skydiving team at 8,000. He said, they should be no factor, but be on the lookout just in case. Squat VFR, radar services terminated, frequency change over to advise improved.
When you talk that fast, I don't know what you're saying. I know y'all flight people understand that, but I have no clue. Because I'm
he said there's aircraft in front of you at 8,000 in my sort of my area. While he sees on his scope wherever he is. I think the Atlanta Center is in. I think it's in Hampton. Yeah, it is in Hampton. But he was looking at his screen. He said, "I see aircraft in front of you." And he said, other than that, radar services terminated, which means that he's no longer going to follow me on the radar. I'm on my own. And then he said, squat VFR.
CC.
Which basically means that I'm visual flight rules, which the squat VFR code is 1200. Plus he would say squat VFR, so I'll say 1200 in my transponder. Frequency change over to advisory approved, which is either the CTAF, which is the Common Traffic Advisory frequency, or the Unicom frequency, which is the unmanned communications, right? And all I said was, squat VFR, radar service terminated, frequency change over to advisory approved. Now 4 of the truck will see.
I don't know what
right? All I did was read it back, and I said, radar services terminated, squat VFR, frequency change over to advisory approved. Take care. And he said,
you need to make sure you saying that stuff clear so they can hear.
Have a nice flight. That's what he said after I said that. I said, see? Switch frequencies to the Unicom frequency, which is 122.8 over there, which is a common traffic frequency, right? And then when I got about 10 miles away from Tuskegee, I said, Tuskegee traffic on 484 Delta Charlie. We're with you 10 miles northeast of the airport. Okay, see, you talk, all right. Yeah, 10 miles northeast.
We're 7 minutes and 47 seconds. It's not going to go on Facebook because you're taking too long.
Well, you're going to have to crunch it up.
I don't know how to do that.
Or to upload it to YouTube or something. But basically, I was just like, I just made my traffic calls 10, 5, 3. And then I turned to the airport, landed. I was like, hey. And then I took back off, and I went straight back to Noonan, right? After I went back to Noonan, I decided not to contact ATC again because I wanted to see what it was like flying by myself without actually having to talk to ATC the whole way, right? So I put in the GPS on directly to Noonan so I can just fly straight over the TFR and all that type of stuff and have a sense of direction back to Noonan, which was straight. What's that? Yeah, it was straight northeast. I'll just be straight northeast, right? But then I looked at the time, and I had 40 minutes left on my like to fly back. It took me 40 minutes to get back. And at that point, I was like, oh, because it was such a long flight. But you wouldn't believe that I was only in the plane for like an hour and 30 minutes. That's it. Something really short.
But it felt like what?
It felt forever. It felt like I was in there for hours. Like, I'm talking about hours on end. I felt like I was in that plane like for a while. But 40 minutes, I'm just going. I keep looking at the GPS like every minute or so. That was the dumbest mistake I done today. Because every time I felt like time was just getting slower. Now, it was fun, don't get me wrong. It wasn't bumpy. Every once in a while, you would just bump in the sky or something. But other than that, I mean, it was a fun flight back. I saw one of the Diamonds land in LaGrange as I passed LaGrange again. And I saw a bunch of planes in Pine Mountain. I didn't see any of the skydiving people, but I heard them all the time. They were just yelling at each other, right? And then somebody said on frequency, they said, "I see you, Dad." I said, "That's funny." I don't even know why he had said that. But then I had to set back up for a 45 left downwind from wave 3-2.
Okay, we in 10 minutes now.
I know. Wait, really? 10
Yeah,
minutes?
10 minutes have gone by. You've been talking for 10 minutes. Keep going.
And then, anyways, so basically, I just set back up. I landed, taxied back, met Jose. He said I did good. And tomorrow, which will be November the 4th, Sunday, I'll actually be flying a longer cross country by myself as well. But this time, it'll be the long one. So today's was like an hour, 30 minutes, give or take. And depending on the speed that happens tomorrow and the wind that happens tomorrow, I'll probably be like 2 hours to 2 hours 30 minutes, easy.
So how are you gonna pass the time when you're up there by yourself for 2 hours and 30 minutes so it don't feel like 15 hours?
I'll probably contact ATC again, to be honest. I don't know, 'cause it was.
You could always
silent.
pray and sing some gospel songs.
Yeah. You know in the Twin Star, they actually have two ports where you could plug in an aux, and you could plug it in. So while you're flying, you can just turn on the aux.
No.
It's pretty cool.
And
Every time somebody talks on the radio, it cancels out the music. You know what I'm saying?
So your plane don't do that though.
Yeah, my plane doesn't do that. That's in the Twin Star, but
So you're in a single engine.
yeah, but yeah, you should be chilling. Or just be
So
sitting
what
there.
was the difference from driving a car by yourself for the first time to being that far on a plane by yourself for the first time in a
The
plane?
biggest difference, in my opinion, is when I first drove. Would it be driven or would it be drove?
When you first drove
Yeah, when I first drove to by myself in the car.
up to the airport.
No, I went to Chick-fil-A. I remember.
Oh,
Well, unless you want me to say it up to the airport.
I thought you were talking about a longer drive.
Oh, well, yeah, well, longest drive, well, yeah, up to the airport. That was just something I always did because I always went with Dad to work and stuff. And if anything happened, I was like, well, I know I can just pull over, right? You know, I can just pull over. I can say, all right, I'm gonna take a breather. Let me get off on the next exit, take the back roads or something like that, right? When you're flying, especially when I started talking to ATC and stuff, I realized that I was pretty much like by myself. If anything happened, I could not have someone else land the plane for me. Like, it's like once you get up there, you're on your own, you're by yourself, you're making the decisions, and depending on your decisions, depends on if you make it out or not. So if I were to make a dumb mistake today, then I probably could have crashed, and I probably could have crashed the plane and killed myself. I would have made a dumb decision. But
Thank God.
yeah, thank God that I didn't do anything stupid, and that I've actually had the opportunity to have the knowledge and go up by myself and have the brains enough to just fly all the way over there. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, I don't know what you're saying.
it's different. It's completely different because you basically just like it's just you. It's just you. Like I was it got to a point where I felt like I was not tired, but I was like fatigued, I guess you could say. I was a little bit fatigued because it was such a long flight back. And I was like, man, I need to take a break. But there's no breaks. I still had like 30 minutes left in the flight.
So what are you gonna do? And we gotta end it, so we're going in 15 minutes. But what are you gonna do when you gotta drive that big Delta plane? Fly that big Delta plane
Well, that's different.
for
I have a
several
co-pilot
hours.
in there. I have a co-pilot in there.
Oh,
And it has an autopilot. I like
Oh.
to say autopilot and talk to my co-pilot the whole way. It was different with my plane is I have no autopilot, so I'm controlling it manually the whole time, and I didn't have anybody to talk to. That's the biggest difference. I mean, it was still fun.
Oh,
Don't
so
get me
that's a
wrong.
good time for you to spend time with who?
With God?
Oh yeah.
Nah.
So talk to him. Show me what to do, Lord.
I was trying to tell him, cause I was praying up there. Cause I was like, dude, I'm so tired. But I was like, can you like speed up this plane? Or because it was a long flight. It was not short. But all in all, sorry for a long story, but all in all, it was fun flight, very enjoyable. I'm glad I got it done. It still feels surreal like on my first solo. I really didn't feel like I did my first solo, but I know I did, and I still can't believe I did my first cross country. Even though I know it off of experience and it's in my brain forever. I know the date and all that stuff. It's just, I don't feel like I did it. It felt like a dream. And I'm so glad that I got to do it because tomorrow I do it longer and I get more time. So I have to
get an extra hour sleep tonight. Time go back.
to go back tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, because I was just about to say I need to go to sleep. Because I gotta mentally prepare myself so I don't get tired tomorrow.
And make sure you review your materials at night before you go to sleep.
Yeah, I gotta check the weather for tomorrow. Make sure it's not bad over there, and check the NOTAMs at Falcon Field so I can make sure that I don't do anything I'm not supposed to over there. But
all right, well,
fun.
There you have it, folks. Mr. Christian E. Samuels, 17-year-old senior, and his little sister dog, Pomeranian, Cece. Say, we glad you had a good flight. See, you want a treat? Want a treat? Yeah. Anyway, we're proud of you. And we're constantly praying for you. You know what to do. You have this. God has already given you the passion, given you the tools that you need to succeed. Trust him, but do your part. Faith without works is dead. So we thank God for the opportunity he's provided for you, and we pray that you will continue to do well. Daddy, you got something to say? Mm-mm. All right. Peace.